Morning and welcome to another day on mission as we go forward together to carry on the mission of Christ. I'm Roger from the Mission Office of the Missionaries of the Sacred Heart. Welcome to mission. I've been talking a little bit about the readings from last Sunday of Jesus and the storm with the disciples. I was reflecting also this morning, over the days there is always a number of saints. Now, a lot of the saints, I know a little bit about most of them and not much about any particular one of them. However, there's a number of them. There's St. Lawrence, Clare, Jane Francis, Pontius, and then later in the week, Maximilian Kolbe. And they were all called in their lives really to something different. To Christian life, to a life of sacrifice or a life of religious life, called to follow Christ. Now, I was just reflecting on how we're somehow called to do something different. Just a small example. I remember when I was in a bush parish and I had to walk, and the hills were quite steep, but the old French priests had cut roads, mainly for horses and later for motorbikes. One particular walk was about 4 hours, and getting towards the end of that walk there was a landslide. The road was on top and the landslide came all the way down, and the people used to walk straight up the landslide, which was what they used to do. Walking up and down these hills was nothing to them. They were doing it long before there were roads. I used to come to that particular section and I would find it very, very difficult. It was a hard climb straight up. One day at the base of it I thought, this is ridiculous. It's just another bit of road to walk up, another track. So I timed myself. I put my time on it and I walked up. I just walked slowly up. It took me less than 15 minutes. Out of a 4-hour walk, this was less than 15 minutes. So I thought, well, I don't have to worry about this anymore. So just in that, to think differently, to look at the thing differently and to say, okay, this is difficult, a bit tiring, but it's only 15 minutes. So a lot of the saints are called to something different, to a different way of life, a different style of life, or a different depth of belief. Some were called to do the same thing, living out the Christian life, but to do it better, to do it with greater dedication, and or to, in the end, to give their life for what they believed. Some were called to do something different, in a sense to go sideways. Like sometimes on the road when we were driving and there was a big bog hole and we couldn't get through, the best thing to do was to go sideways, go through the bush and come out the other side. To do it differently and get to the end. So some saints were called to do something very different. And that would be perhaps the case with Maximilian Kolbe. He could have stayed as one of the crowd and not stepped forward, but he did step forward and he saved that younger man's life. And in that, gave his life for in doing that. So some have to do, and some of the saints have been like that. They have done something different in the church and in the world. So it's a new way, a new style, make a new road, and there are many saints like that. But they all had storms, they all had troubles and difficulties, and that's in some ways why they are saints and why they are called to be saints, because what they did, they had to do under difficulty, through hard times, to make hard decisions, to stick to those decisions, to stay with that commitment. So there's different ways, and then through the mission office we try to find ways to get funds to people so that they can have a different way of life. They can have a better way of life. So we build a better world for all people. So the storms, through the storms, Jesus is with us. Again, Jesus gives us the hand up. Jesus guides us forward so that on our mission we can continue through the difficulties, through the hard times. Jesus is there always to give us a hand up. So continue on mission, wherever your mission may be, to whatever people you are called to help, to show the love of God, to bring the good news of Jesus Christ to people. Have a great day on mission.